Hello, and welcome to another edition of the NRS Insights podcast. I am John Lofstock, and today I am joined by my special guest, Adam Diglio, who is the Global Learning and Development Coordinator for BD. And he is based in my home state of New Jersey. And he's someone I've worked with over the years, and someone I found to be extremely knowledgeable when it comes to understanding your product and understanding how to deal with a negotiating partner. So with that, I'd like to welcome Adam. How are you?
Thank you, John, and good to see you again. I hope you're doing well.
I am, thank you. So I know you're active on LinkedIn, and I just happened to come across something that caught my eye, and that was being an expert in the elevator pitch. And I say that because I'm one of those guys that likes to talk, and then sometimes you talk too much, you don't have what you want to say down, and you say the wrong thing, and you ramble, and you can feel the other guy walking away going, "Man, that guy's an idiot." And I hate
Indeed,
that feeling.
indeed.
You can't get that back, right? So, if you don't mind, kind of walk us through what is an elevator pitch and why should you be prepared?
Yeah, so thank you, John, and here's your challenge. You have 30 seconds to get someone to care about you and what you do. That's it. No slides, no prep, just you and your words. So how do we do that in a way that becomes compelling yet concise? Right? You want to be able to open the door for a deeper conversation. You only have, I mean, it's an adage for that reason. You only have one chance to make
Mhm.
that first impression, and you want to open the door to make a deeper conversation. Elevator pitches are funny because it's not about closing, it's actually about opening. And you don't want to ramble, but you want to be able to make that interesting to garner the right for a deeper conversation. And that's really the spirit of an elevator pitch.
And I deal in the convenience store industry. So we see suppliers and retailers getting together all the time. Retailers, the convenience store industry, as you can imagine, it's a very, very busy industry. People are time pressed. And you might get that 1 minute, like bottom line it for me. And I'm telling you, Adam, I see it and it is cringeworthy. The people aren't prepared. They're not ready. They want to talk about how great they are. To me, that's always the first mistake. But I want to ask you, what are the best practices of selling a product and making an elevator pitch?
Yeah, no, that's great. And it's whether you contact someone at a networking event, at a conference, literally walking through the door into the
Mhm.
store, meeting them, catching them in the parking lot. It really, that the beauty of an
Mhm.
elevator pitch is you need to have it ready at all times so you can deliver it. So let's dive into some of the best practices, kind of the do's and do nots, right? So you want to be clear, you want to be concise, right? 30 seconds or less is the human brain can process that. If you go over that, it's a different type of a conversation. So you want to keep it 30 seconds or less. You want to lead with value. You
Mhm.
want to make sure that you are saying something that is important to that person that you are speaking to. So you're speaking to someone that really cares about money and margins, then your elevator pitch, here you are, tells you who you are, how you help who achieve what, right? And if it's saving money or quicker to market or whatever the case may be, or shelf space or shelf location, you want to be able to mention that again within your 30 seconds. Use real examples and you want to practice it to yourself before you have to meet that person. So say
Mhm.
it to the video or say it to the mirror or say it to your pet, but you want to make it be comfortable coming out of your mouth. So those are some of the do's. So those are
Mhm.
some of the best
So
practices.
I'm sure you must workshop this with your groups when you do that. And I'm just going to take a steal some of your thunder and talking about the don'ts. But when I see people, they always lead with how great they are, why they're better than their
Uh-huh.
competition,
Uh-huh.
or which is worse, they badmouth their competition or badmouth somebody else. So I would imagine, are those on your list of what makes you cringe?
Absolutely. So I mean, that's like human interactions 101. Don't badmouth your competition. The best thing you can do is not say anything,
Mhm.
right? That's not because what you don't want people to think is when you walk away that you're bad mouthing them to somebody else, right? You never want to give that
Mhm.
as your persona, right? Um, you don't want to be vague. Now is a great if you want to garner a deeper conversation, say something that's really interesting that will want them they'll lean in and they'll ask more questions. And you don't want to really ramble, right? And we know everybody knows people that ramble in any type of professional environment, and that's the kiss of death,
Mhm.
right? Because then all of a sudden people stop paying attention. They start thinking about this, and then they start thinking about their exit move, right? So you don't want to ramble, right? Pitches fail. Pitches fail when it's either a data dump and you're just vomiting stats and all that stuff, or it becomes a brag fest, right? Nobody wants to hear a brag fest. People want to hear what's clear, what's concise, and what's focused on what they care about. And those are some of the things to avoid.
Hmm. So what is the goal with an elevator pitch? Are you trying to get your point across right there, or are you trying to set up a bigger call
Yeah,
at a
that's
later
that's
time?
that's the right question, right? The goal of an elevator pitch is to garner a deeper conversation. That's it. Your elevator pitch is not about closing the sale or closing, right? All you're wanting to do with an elevator pitch is make it enticing enough that they will have a deeper conversation with you. And then you go into your facts and your data and your details, and then you're really like in sales, you're selling for the next meeting. For an elevator pitch, you're selling for a deeper conversation. And
Hmm.
maybe it's just, oh, that's really good. Hey, you want to go grab a cup of coffee? We can talk about XYZ. Or, hey, are you going to the dinner tonight? Let's meet at the dinner. I want to hear about how you got to market quicker, whatever the case may be. So it's all your in a way it's a little less pressurized than getting a contract, right? All you want is that deeper conversation, and then you can take that deeper exploratory conversation and take it wherever it goes.
So yeah, so that 30 seconds is I was laughing thinking there was an episode of Seinfeld. I don't know if you remember the jerk store called. Do you remember that? He wanted the
They're all
great
out of you.
yeah, and he wanted the great comeback, but then he stayed too long, and then he had to
Yeah.
redo the moment, and then he hit it and he left. And is that what you want to do? You want them you almost want to walk away with them thinking, that's the kind of guy I want to do business with.
Yeah, well, you want to be able to say enough that entices them. It's
Hmm.
compelling enough where when you stop talking, then they lean in and they say, "Tell me more, John. Tell me more." Right? Tell me more. Tell me how you made a greater margin on this product launch, like whatever the case may be. So you want to say enough to wet the whistle to get
Hmm.
them excited, and then see where it goes. Right?
So
And you could read them. It may not be interesting at all, and you may need to change your plan, but at least you'll have a clue there.
okay. Now there are different styles, the Standler method, the NEPQ style, and you see the Standler method where they try to make your elevator pitch and then they come back with well, we might not be the right solution for you, or it might be too expensive for you, or things like that. Do you want to get into any of that psychology in your elevator pitch or no? Keep it simple.
Yeah, I think a good elevator pitch is really transparent. It's not, there's no psychology, no trickery. You're literally saying what is most interesting to that person. Like, hi, this is Adam from Company X. I help in my business, pharmaceuticals. I help pharma technology officers reduce device failure by integrating our smart delivery systems. Period. Right? And then they ask more. And they, oh, you do. That's good. That saves me money. Tell me more. Right?
Hmm.
So it's not. I mean, there's all kinds of sales psychology, right? And spin selling and challenger selling and all that stuff is good. But to start the conversation, to get that ball rolling, be very transparent who you are, what you do, and some way you add value. And that will also differentiate you from your competitors because oftentimes your competitors are meeting that person like and it becomes a brag fest or a data dump, and then that's less than productive.
All right. Tell me about your mannerisms. And I didn't mention this to you before, but I would love to get your insights because I know you train professionals on this. How do you train? Like, how do you tell them to stand? Hands in the pockets, hands. Like, what is a good posture to say, I'm interested in what you have to say, and I want to tell you what I have to offer.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, body language is important and people read that. And I think that the number one tactic that we say when we're dealing with directors and executives and VPs is demonstrate your enthusiasm, speak with enthusiasm. And then my question to them would be, can you tell when someone has enthusiasm? You can
Hmm.
tell, right? Can you tell when someone said the same thing 1,000 times and they're just like, my name is Adam and right? You can tell, right? So if you demonstrate enthusiasm, they will pick up on that. And if you demonstrate a monotone or you don't demonstrate enthusiasm, they're not going to pick up on that. So the common things, right? Open language, open with your hands, smiling, eye contact, but not creepy eye contact, and those types of things. crossing yourself off, and all those normal body language communication things, leaning in, nodding with approval. What's the common thing for active listening, right?
Yeah.
Asking second level questions, agreeing, understanding, nodding, all those normal good active listening things goes a long way, and it absolutely goes a long way in your elevator pitch. And again, concise, clear, informative, and engaging. If you can make that in
Hmm.
your elevator pitch, you'll have success.
All right. Another on the spot question. In this woke world and how we seem to used to celebrate differences, but now differences seem to be, uh, our kryptonite. Do you shake hands? Do you offer to shake hands? Do you give a hug if it's someone you knew? Like, how do you approach those situations with caution, or do you just kind of by feel?
I think there's two words that kind of form a Venn diagram and they overlap, and it's respect and curiosity. So it's okay to be curious. Oh, you don't shake hands? Oh, that's interesting. That culture does, that culture doesn't, right? Oh, we hug. I'm a hugger. Is that okay? So I think it is true that it can be challenging in the environment that we're in today. But if you genuinely approach it with curiosity and you're coming from a position of respect, then typically it'll be okay. I think when people feel disrespected or undervalued or dismissed, I think
Hmm.
that's where you can really get into difficulties. But if you really try and approach it from a position of respect, you typically will be able to get enough traction to not make it uncomfortable, and again to be compelling enough to make that conversation deeper.
Okay. So
It's a great question.
in all your well, it comes up and I see it, and it's also cringy from afar when you say, "Oof,"
Yeah.
you know, and there's always the one person that doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Well, what do I mean? And they take offense to it, and you're just starting off on building a
Yeah.
bad foundation. It's not going to work from there for the most part. And I mentioned I know you workshop things. I know you train people. What are the hardest human proclivities, we'll call them, for people to break, the hardest habits for them to be able to focus? Salespeople are just a unique breed anyway. They kind of get it. But when you're training people new, what is the hardest habit for them to break?
Yeah. The greatest challenge that people have um, is consistently making it not about them, right?
Hmm.
And we all have egos. I have a giant ego, right? But the fact is, when I am trying to meet someone new or explain myself or give everything I have as a knowledge transfer in a class, for example, it can't be about me. I have to check my ego at the door. And I want to make it about the person that I'm communicating with. And that's hard for people because we're told, have a value proposition, have a brand proposition, be able to differentiate yourself. And all that stuff is good and true, but you want to really make sure you are making it about the person that you are communicating with. So every way you can make them comfortable, every way you can, appeal to what is important to them, that keeps them comfortable, that keeps them in their comfort zone. You have a better chance of having a good communication. So check
Hmm.
your ego at the door. Way easier said than done. And that's, and then, you'll have a smoother communication process. I love that question though.
And thank you. And then on, we deal, like we said, with retailers all the time. So we always say in the industry, the end game is that get the retailer to sell more stuff. I mean, that is the paramount goal. When that happens, everybody wins. So we try to emphasize to suppliers that, yeah, you have to check your ego at the door. It has to be about the product. So do you mind, if you don't mind, if you can, talk a little bit about you mentioned best practices, but the number one or the top two things that you've witnessed, whether in a workshop or in real life, where you went, that guy gets it or that woman gets it. That was great.
Yeah, it's definitely doing everything to make the person you're communicating with comfortable. So when you're talking about a grocery store or a convenience store or a restaurant, the more comfortable people are, the more, a little less they worry about price, a little less they worry. I mean, price is always going to matter,
Hmm.
but they worry just a little less. And if you make them comfortable, you have a better chance at a larger wallet share, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, think about we can all think about the grocery experiences that we really enjoy. and all of a sudden we're picking up all different things that we like because we're comfortable and we're having a good, comfortable experience. So the folks that get it right are those that can keep you comfortable. And the payoff is a larger wallet share, customer loyalty, right? So do really the number one thing, and in my opinion, there really isn't even a number two when it comes to this. If you can keep your customer, client, prospect comfortable, it's going to be better for you, right? And if they're uncomfortable, they're still going to come in and get that V8 that they needed, but they're going to come in, get it, and leave, right?
Hmm.
Or they're going to just get their gas or just get their coffee. But if you all of a sudden you make them comfortable and they like where they are and they're enjoying their shopping experience, it's going to be a bigger basket share, wallet share,
Yep.
and all of a sudden they're going to say, you know what? Why don't I just pick up dinner? I know it's a little bit more money, but who cares? I'm here. Let me pick up dinner, right? Or you know what? We're having the guys over for the game. Let me pick up a six pack of soda too, right? Whatever the case may be. So the more you can get them comfortable, the better it's going to be for the experience, and then the better it's going to be for the wallet share.
Yeah, that's a great point too, because this is also an effective training method for the cashiers, the frontline personnel that are dealing with the customers. Make them feel
Without a doubt.
comfortable, eye contact. Yeah. Well, this is great stuff, Adam. If people wanted to get a hold of you and kind of get a hold of you and do a deeper dive on the training and your methods and how you help companies improve, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, that's great. I'm always happy. I always love talking about this stuff because it really is my fun spot. It's my passion. I've been doing it in my career for a long time, and I do enjoy it. Reach out directly through you, and you can get in contact with me, and I'd be happy to, even if it's just have a conversation. That's all. Shoot me an email, whatever works. But they can always reach me directly through you, John, and I'm happy to entertain any conversations.
Excellent. Well, good, Adam. Thank you very much for your time today. Much
My
appreciated.
pleasure.
Good. And yeah, we're recording this before Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a good afternoon. And we look forward to having you on a future NRS podcast. Take care.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Bye bye.